My name is Teemu and welcome to my new video. And as you can see, I'm trying a little bit different setup today for today's video. I thought it might be really interesting to try a little bit different approach for video and start a little bit different video series at the same time. And in this video series, I haven't really figured out the name yet, but I'd say this is called Tips for Songwriting. I think it's a really catchy name for it or something like that. But on these videos I'm going to show you a little bit like cool things that would inspire you to pick up the guitar and start writing something really interesting with the tools that I used for a specific little improvisation. So that little part that I just played was mostly based on improvisation or some specific chord shapes that I was really familiar with, but I then added some open chords. So if I have to say what was the number one rule or restriction to use, or restriction or rules that I used for writing this or to get that chord progression, was actually using open strings on each chord and also rely on something that I knew from the standard tuning, like the chord shape. So basically it was based on open chords, which means that there was a open. So the first chord was a really interesting one. It was I think it's like add 9 chord that I picked up, and then based on that. So if I think about like the normal E minor chord, I basically switched to the add 9, which is like take on a G string. Instead of playing the 9th string, I played 11th, and then also play the minor third on the 8th fret of the B string. So as the really stretchy way to play it was like, but instead I left out the A string, and then I may have played the G note, which was on the A string. So then we have like that chord. And that was the first chord. And then I had this C major chord that was basically played in a really open way. I took the standard barre chord that was like E shape, if we talk about like a caged system that is based on the open string chord. So I basically took the barre chord of a C major that is based on the E string, like this, but then left the highest strings open, so the B and E strings were open. And then I just switched that to D, to the 10th fret, the same shape, just. And then we went to a little bit more jazzier chords, or well, it's not basically a jazzy chord, but we went to these chords that were like minor 7, or that's how I look at them, and then added the open chords. There may be a more theoretical way to see these chords, but I just take a look at them as minor 7 something, or yeah. So the second chord, the first minor 7 open chord was the B minor 7, I think it's 11. It's you take the basically also, as I mentioned, the kind of the E shape. In this case it's like E minor, but then they do the 7th fret and then play it as a minor 7 chord. So you play, instead of playing the 9th fret of the D string, you play the 7th. So it's like this. So the chord shape that I used was I left some of the strings open, or most of the strings open. So in this case I played the 7th fret of the low E string, then I played the D. On a D string I played the 7th fret too, and then on the G string again 7th fret, and then 2 highest strings were open. And then moved the same chord shape to a A minor 7 thing. And from there I went to the E minor add 9. And then to E minor, yeah. Played the same thing but added the D note from the 3rd fret of the B string. Then I went to the this F chord, or it was a D/F sharp. We don't have to be really specific for the names for the chords. It's most likely like the D major, but then I played the F sharp on the bottom. And then I played on the second round like the major chord version of it. And then I think the G chord was like, so it's like the basic G major chord, but then on the highest string I switched the note to move a little melody out there. And then we had 2 more chord shapes, and I took the minor chord shape on the A string, the barre chord, but then left the highest note open. Then, so this was a C sharp minor chord. Then I moved it to the 2nd fret to a B minor. And then next I had the A minor at 9, which is just the A minor chord, and kind of used the same chord as I mentioned as the first chord, same as the E chord, but then move it to the open A string, or use the open A string as a root note. So yeah, those were the chords that I used for this little improvisation with just fairly basic chord shapes that I did minor adjustments, added the open strings and then little changes here and there, and that's how I got these cool chord shapes. So I'm looking really forward to hear what kind of solutions you come up with this kind of restrictions. So I highly encourage you to write something with these open string chords. So if you like this video, give thumbs up, leave a comment and subscribe, and see you on the next one. Goodbye.